From each side, he rolled up a log and he notched its end so that it fitted down over the end logs. Then he rolled up logs from the ends and notched them so that they fitted down over the side logs. Now the whole house was 2 logs high. The logs fit solidly together at the corners, but no log is ever perfectly straight, and all logs are bigger at one end than at the other end, so cracks were left between them all along the walls. But that did not matter, because Pa would chink those cracks. All by himself, he built the house 3 logs high. Then Ma helped him. Pa lifted one end of a log onto the wall. Then Ma held it while he lifted the other. He stood up on the wall to cut the notches, and Ma helped roll and hold the log while he settled it where it should be to make the corner perfectly square. So log by log, they built the walls higher until they were pretty high and Laura couldn't get over them. She was tired of watching Pa and Ma build the house, and she went into the tall grass exploring. Suddenly, she heard Pa shout, "Let go! Get out from under!" The big heavy log was sliding. Pa was trying to hold up his end of it to keep it from falling on Ma. He couldn't. It crashed down. Ma huddled on the ground. She got to Ma almost as quickly as Pa did. Pa knelt down and called Ma in a dreadful voice, and Ma gasped, "I'm all right." The log was on her foot. Pa lifted the log, and Ma pulled her foot from under it. Pa felt her to see if any bones were broken. "Move your arms," he said. "Is your back hurt? Can you turn your head?" Ma moved her arms and turned her head. "Thank goodness," Pa said. He helped Ma to sit up. She said again, "I'm all right, Charles. It's just my foot." Quickly, Pa took off her shoe and stocking. He felt her foot all over, moving the ankle and the instep and every toe. "Does it hurt much?" he asked. Ma's face was gray and her mouth was tight. "Not much," she said. "No bones broken," said Pa. "It's only a bad sprain." Ma said cheerfully, "Well, a sprain's soon mended. Don't be so upset, Charles." "I blame myself," said Pa. "I should have used skids." He helped Ma to the tent. He built up the fire and heated water. When the water was as hot as Ma could bear, she put her swollen foot into it. It was a providential that the foot was not crushed. Only a little hollow in the ground had saved it. Pa kept pouring more hot water into the tub in which Ma's foot was soaking. Her foot was red from the heat, and the puffed ankle began to turn purple. Ma took her foot out of the water and bound strips of rag tightly around and around the ankle. "I can manage," she said. She could not get her shoe on, but she tied more rags around her foot and she hobbled on it. She got supper as usual, only a little more slowly, but Pa said she could not help to build the house until her ankle was well. He hewed out skids. These were long, flat slabs. One end rested on the ground, and the other end rested on the log wall. He was not going to lift any more logs. He and Ma would roll them up these skids. But Ma's ankle was not well yet. When she unwrapped it in the evenings to soak it in hot water, it was all purple and black and green and yellow. The house must wait. Then, one afternoon, Pa came merrily whistling up the creek road. They had not expected him from hunting so soon. As soon as he saw them, he shouted, "Good news!" They had a neighbor, only 2 miles away on the other side of the creek. Pa had met him in the woods. They were going to trade work, and that would make it easier for everyone. "He's a bachelor," said Pa, "and he says he can get along without a house better than you and the girls. So he's going to help me first. Then, as soon as he gets his logs ready, I'll go over and help him. They need not wait any longer for the house, and Ma need not do any more work on it." "How do you like that, Caroline?" Pa asked joyfully, and Ma said, "That's good, Charles. I'm glad." Early next morning, Mr. Edwards came. He was lean and tall and brown. He bowed to Ma and called her ma'am politely, but he told Laura that he was a wildcat from Tennessee. He wore tall boots and a ragged jumper and a coonskin cap, and he could spit tobacco juice further than Laura had ever imagined that anyone could. He could hit anything he spit at, too. Laura tried and tried, but she could never spit so far or so well as Mr. Edwards could. He was a fast worker. In one day, he and Pa built those walls as high as Pa wanted them. They joked and sang while they worked, and their axes made the chips fly.